Hi guys. Today was a very eventful day over in court. And before I get started, I just want to say that I'm not going to be doing any victim bashing, and I don't think anybody else should. We don't know what it was like to be in Suzanne's shoes, and of course, having an affair is not a reason for anybody to do you in if that's what's happened here. And it appears that the gameplay that the defense is going for is, it looks like they're trying to say that Suzanne's not dead. Today, court ended with them making the statement that this is a missing person case, and pointing out that Suzanne and her boyfriend had been planning to move to Ecuador together. And there's evidence of Suzanne doing the searches about Ecuador and learning another language and language schools in Ecuador and the like. So I'm hoping that there's going to be some more solid evidence coming up that will definitively tell us what's going on in this case. It appears that the big play today was the prosecution bringing up the affair to put it out there as being a motive for Barry, but then they also said they have no evidence whatsoever that Barry was aware of the affair, and that according to Suzanne's boyfriend Jeff, he believes that he and Suzanne are the only ones who knew of the affair, and that he feels that if Barry had known, that Barry would go to him and deal with him over it rather than Suzanne. And Jeff, the boyfriend, is someone from their past, someone that they knew back in Indiana. And according to Jeff, he and Suzanne hooked up in 1989 when Barry was out of town and Suzanne was at a party, and that then they renewed their relationship in 2018. And I'm not going to get into the details in this video. I'll go more in depth in the next one. I'm kind of tired right now and just want to give you some highlights, and then I'll probably get some more, put down on video here and have it post in the morning when I'm on my way to Salida again. And let's see. We learned that when the bicycle was found that first day, it was found pretty much early on, and the police had their body cams on, and they were calling out for Suzanne as they went down and retrieved the bicycle. So that was all documented. And they said that the front tire was in a locked position. The brake was in a locked position, but when they pushed the button, the wheel went freely. They said that there was no tracks and no sign of braking or anything like that. I'm gonna have to go over there and check that out and see, what kind of prints you make up there. But they stated that there weren't any tracks, any marks or anything, and that later on, around 8:30 or so, when Barry showed up, that he and George Davis had gone and looked at the bike too, and were touching the bike, and were told not to touch the bike. And that Barry was full of questions, and that Barry had asked what had happened and where they found the bike, and was offering to help and stuff. And they, after they took his statements and stuff, they dismissed him, but he said he still wanted to stay and help. He told them they could search anything that they wanted to search, gave them access to the house, and they said they had access to the house from then on, and that Barry was only in there briefly with police escort to show them where Suzanne's closet was so that they could get scent dogs looking for Suzanne. And apparently, when they first went to the Morphew house, Miles Harvey, who's the boyfriend of one of the Morphew girls, was there with his dad, and he was telling them a little bit about Barry and Suzanne's relationship, that they had disagreements and stuff, and he said it was like normal people do or something like that. And when they were asking what kind of clothes Suzanne wore when she went bike riding, apparently he showed them her helmet, which was at the house. But, with Barry not having access to the house, somehow the helmet was found on the 14th, when Barry didn't have access to the house again until the 20th or the 21st. So I don't know if this is a second identical helmet, or if somebody planted a helmet or what. And I'm wondering if this is going to get brought up again. Yeah, the helmet. Oh, and another big thing in there was DNA, and that's that we know that the unknown DNA of a male was on the glove box of Suzanne's car, and then they ran it through CODIS, and it came back as being the same as the DNA in 3 unsolved assaults that were in CODIS. So there is a perpetrator that somehow got evidence of themselves on Suzanne's glove box, but we don't know who that is. Also, in the house, there was no blood or any evidence of anything happening to Suzanne. Same with the vehicles, no trace. And that the video cameras being out, it's possible that Suzanne's the one that disconnected them, and if she did, I'm thinking that it was just, one of her little bids for freedom. And they said that the only DNA or evidence, whatever, on that equipment belonged to Suzanne and an unidentified male, that Barry and the girls were all ruled out as having touched that equipment. And anything else super important before I take a shower? Suzanne's camelback, that she wears when she rides her bike, was in the Range Rover that night. And after Barry sold that in Indiana, the sunglasses that she's wearing in the picture where she's on her bike with the baby blue helmet and stuff, those glasses were in the Range Rover in Indiana. And it turns out that Suzanne took up bike riding in March before she disappeared, and that was at the encouragement of her boyfriend Jeff, and that Jeff would give her ideas of where to ride, and I guess he tracked her on some kind of app and stuff, and so he knew when she rode and where she rode and stuff like that, and so that she usually rode in the afternoons. And the police say that night Barry said that the worst scare would be if someone picked her up, but that before he said that, he told them to search the RV park. He asked them about the possibilities of a mountain lion because somebody had told him about a mountain lion. And these were like one right after the other because it was in a half hour of talking with him. And that actually when they told him that the sniffer dogs went down by the river, Barry actually is the one that dismissed that as a possibility, stating that she would have gotten caught up on the beaver dam. So don't know exactly what to think of any of that. And it appears that Suzanne was talking to her boyfriend the afternoon before she disappeared, and that, well, I'm being called to dinner, and I'll get this up now, and then I'll try to put something up and have it up in the morning where I go into a little bit more detail on this. And I'd really appreciate it if you guys could comment either on this video or over in the community and let me know if there's any areas you want to get a look at over in Salida, and also any questions you want me to address. See you in the next video.